Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a rut? You set all these ambitious goals and resolutions at the beginning of the year, the month, or even the week. Exercise more regularly, read more books, learn a new skill, eat healthier. But then, what happens? After a short while, everything slips back to how it was. That initial motivation fades, those old habits creep back in, and you end up feeling disappointed in yourself, wondering why you can't stick with it. Why is change so tough? If that feeling resonates with you, please know you are not alone. And the good news is, today's video of BookSmart Insights will offer you a key, a detailed roadmap to break free from that cycle. We're going to dive deep into a classic book on habit formation. This book has helped millions worldwide make lasting changes and achieve remarkable results. That book is Atomic Habits, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results by James Clear. Hi everyone, welcome back to BookSmart Insights, a channel for sharing knowledge for personal development through good books. In this video, we won't just be summarizing the book. Oh no, we're going further than that. I'll explore the core concepts in depth with you, analyze practical, easy-to-apply strategies, and most importantly, understand why they are so effective. We'll discover that luck isn't some distant, random thing. It's hidden within the tiny actions, the seemingly insignificant habits you repeat daily. So get comfortable, grab a warm cup of tea or your favorite coffee. Keep an open mind, and let's embark on this journey with BookSmart Insights to decode the power of atomic habits right now. One of the biggest reasons we fail when trying to change is that we often overestimate the importance of defining moments, those significant, grand actions. Conversely, we drastically underestimate the value of making minor, consistent improvements every single day. We tend to convince ourselves big results require big actions. Want to lose 10 kilos? We think we need to hit the gym like crazy immediately. Want to write a book? We must dedicate entire weekends to churning out dozens of pages. Want to learn a new language? We assume hours of study each day are required. What does this mindset lead to? We easily get overwhelmed, quickly discouraged when we don't see instant results, and ultimately, we give up. We overlook entirely the hidden power of tiny actions, those improvements of just 1% each day. James Clear presents a simple yet potent mathematical formula in Atomic Habits. If you can get just 1% better each day for 1 year, you won't just be 365% better. Thanks to the power of compounding, you'll end up nearly 37 times better than when you started. Sounds almost unbelievable, but that's the reality of exponential growth. But tiny improvement, seemingly insignificant today, multiplies and resonates with the minor improvements of tomorrow and the day after, creating explosive growth over time. Conversely, suppose you get 1% worse each day, maybe by skipping just one workout, eating slightly more unhealthy food, or procrastinating on reading. After a year, your abilities won't decrease significantly. In that case, they will dwindle down to almost zero. Isn't that terrifying? Just 1%, but the difference between an upward trajectory and a downward spiral is massive in the long run. This is precisely like the compound effect in finance. Initially, when you start saving or investing a small amount, the interest earned seems negligible. You might feel disheartened, but if you persist, consistently accumulate, and reinvest that interest, your money will grow exponentially. Habits work precisely the same way. Good habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Every time you repeat a good habit, it's like dropping another coin into the piggy bank labeled "a better version of myself." At first, you don't notice the piggy bank getting heavier, but day after day, those small coins accumulate. The knowledge you gain from daily reading builds a solid foundation of understanding. The body you move every day becomes more substantial and more resilient. The skill you practice daily becomes increasingly refined. However, there's a harsh reality that James Clear calls the plateau of latent potential, or as mentioned in the summary earlier, the valley of disappointment. This is the initial phase when we start a new habit. We put in a lot of effort, but the results seem stagnant, maybe even feel like they're getting worse. The progress curve flattens out or dips slightly. This is when doubt creeps in. Is all this effort worth it? Is this even doing anything? So many people give up at this stage because they don't see an immediate reward for their hard work. Imagine an ice cube at -5 degrees Celsius. You increase the temperature to -4, -3, -2, -1. The ice cube remains an ice cube. Nothing seems to change. You might feel your efforts are futile. But a magical transformation occurs when the temperature hits 0 degrees and nudges up to 1 degree Celsius. The ice begins to melt. All the previous effort spent raising the temperature wasn't wasted. It was accumulating energy, waiting for that breakthrough point. Or consider the bamboo tree example mentioned. No matter how well it's cared for the first 5 years, it doesn't grow above ground. An impatient person might have chopped it down long ago, but in reality, the bamboo silently built a massive, powerful root system underground during those 5 years. Once those roots are strong enough, in just 6 weeks it can shoot up to 27 meters, about 90 feet, growing at an astonishing pace. What's the lesson here? Success isn't a linear progression. It demands persistent patience to push through the initial phase of latent potential. You must trust the process, even when you can't see the results. Remember, your small efforts today are laying the foundation for future breakthroughs. Don't give up in the valley of disappointment. Live like a bamboo tree, patiently setting deep roots. Another common mistake we often make is obsessing over goals while neglecting the construction of systems. What are goals? They are the results you want to achieve. Lose 10 kilos, run a marathon, finish writing a book, reach a specific revenue target. What are systems? These processes and habits lead you to those results. Walking 30 minutes every morning, writing 500 words daily, and making 5 sales calls per hour. James Clear points out several critical problems with focusing solely on goals. 1. Winners and losers share the same goals. Doesn't everyone entering a competition want to win? Doesn't everyone applying for a job want to get it? Having a goal alone isn't enough to make a difference. It's the system of training and preparation that truly determines the outcome. 2. Achieving a goal is only a momentary change. You pour all your energy into achieving a goal, e.g., cleaning your room spotlessly. But if you don't change the underlying system, your daily messy habits, that room will quickly revert to its former state. Goals change the immediate outcome, but systems change the root cause of the problem. 3. Goals restrict your happiness. We often set an implicit condition. I'll allow myself to be happy only when I achieve goal X. This turns happiness into something deferred, something to wait for. But life is a journey, not just a destination. If you can't find joy in the process, will the happiness at the finish line, if it even comes, truly be fulfilling? Furthermore, once we achieve a goal, we often feel a sense of anticlimax and emptiness and quickly rush to set a new goal. We get trapped in a cycle of waiting for happiness. 4. Goals are often at odds with long-term progress. What happens after you've achieved the goal? For example, you train hard to run a marathon. After crossing the finish line, the motivation driving you, the goal of completing the race, disappears. Many people then revert to their old lifestyle and stop training. Suppose you focus on the system, becoming a consistent runner. In that case, you'll continue that habit even when there's no race on the horizon. So, what's the solution? Fall in love with the process and focus on building the system. Instead of obsessing over losing 10 kilos, focus on building a system of healthy eating and regular exercise each day. Instead of just thinking about publishing a book, focus on the system of writing a few hundred words daily. When you focus on the system, you don't have to wait until you reach the goal to feel successful. That's a small win every time you execute your system correctly. You went for a walk, did the writing, ate the salad. You're reinforcing the person you want to become. You find joy and satisfaction in the process, not just waiting for the final outcome. Systems enable sustainable progress. Goals help you set a direction, but systems ensure you get there and continue going beyond. Remember the legendary coach Bill Walsh's mantra, "The score takes care of itself." The desired results will naturally follow when you focus on doing the small things within your system well. So how do you build an effective system? This leads us to a core concept, perhaps the most powerful in Atomic Habits. This is the part I find genuinely profound, and I feel it sets Atomic Habits apart from many other habit books. James Clear suggests there are 3 layers of behavior change, like the layers of an onion. 1. The outer layer, changing your outcomes, changing your results, losing weight, publishing a book, winning an award. Most of the goals we set are at this layer. 2. The middle layer, changing your process, involves changing your habits and systems, such as your workout routine, writing schedule, and work process. Most of the habits we try to build reside here. 3. The innermost layer, the core, changing your identity. This involves changing your beliefs, your worldview, your self-image, and your judgments about yourself and others. Many people start from the outside when they want to change. I want to lose weight. Outcome. Then they think about the middle layer. I'll start dieting and going to the gym. Process. However, they often neglect the core layer, identity. James Clear argues that the most sustainable way to change behavior is to start from the inside out, beginning with identity. Why? Because behavior that is incongruent with the self will not last. Imagine you want to quit smoking. If you only focus on the outcome, I want to quit, and the process, I'll try not to smoke, you might succeed for a short time through sheer willpower. But if deep down you still believe you are a smoker trying to quit, then sooner or later, when faced with stress or temptation, you'll likely return to cigarettes. But what if you change your identity first? You start believing, I am a non-smoker. When someone offers you a cigarette, you'll naturally decline. No thanks, I don't smoke. This refusal doesn't require much willpower because it aligns perfectly with who you believe you are. This is the crucial point. Instead of just trying to change your actions, focus on changing your beliefs about yourself. The goal is not to read a book, but to become a reader. The goal is not to run a marathon, but to become a runner. The goal is not to learn an instrument, but to become a musician. Once you define your desired identity, the next question becomes, what would a desired identity person do? What would a healthy person do? They'd take the stairs instead of the elevator. They'd order a salad instead of fries. What would a writer do? They'd sit down and write every day, even just a few lines. This process involves 2 simple steps. 1. Decide the type of person you want to be. What identity do you want? Disciplined, creative, healthy, a lifelong learner? 2. Prove it to yourself with small wins. Every small action consistent with that identity is like casting a vote for that new version of yourself. Whenever you choose fruit over cake, you vote for a healthy person. Every time you sit down to write for just 15 minutes, you cast a vote for writer. Every time you go to the gym, even for a light workout, you cast a vote for active person. These small actions move you closer to your desired outcome, and more importantly, gradually reshape your beliefs about yourself. Behavior and identity form a reinforcing loop. Stronger beliefs lead to consistent actions. Consistent actions provide evidence that strengthens beliefs. Conversely, we need to be extremely careful about negative self-labeling. When you constantly say, "I'm terrible at remembering names," "I just don't have a knack for languages," and "I'm such a procrastinator," you are unintentionally reinforcing those negative identities. And once you believe those things, you'll act in ways consistent with those beliefs, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. Stop doing that. Start talking about yourself in the way you aspire to be. So, before building any habit, pause and ask yourself, who do I want to become? Choosing and maintaining habits becomes much more meaningful and manageable when you have a clear answer to this question. But how do we turn these good intentions into concrete actions? How do we actually install these new habits into our daily lives effectively? This brings us to the core practical framework of atomic habits, the 4 laws of behavior change. Before diving into the 4 laws, we must understand the basic mechanics of a habit. James Clear, like other researchers such as Charles Duhigg in The Power of Habit, points out that every habit follows a 4-step loop. 1. Cue. This trigger tells your brain to initiate a behavior. It can be anything your senses pick up: a location, a time of day, an emotional state, the presence of other people, or an action that just preceded it. Example: your phone buzzes. Cue. 2. Craving. This is the motivation, the desire, the urge behind every habit. You don't crave the habit, but the state change it delivers. Example: you don't crave looking at your phone. You crave knowing new information, relieving boredom, or social connection. Craving. 3. Response. This is the actual habit you perform, the action or thought. It depends on how motivated you are and how much friction is associated with the behavior. Example: picking up your phone and opening the notification app. Response. 4. Reward. This is the end goal of every habit, which satisfies the initial craving and teaches your brain that this loop is worth remembering and repeating in the future. Example: reading the message, feeling connected, satisfying curiosity. Reward. These 4 steps form a neurological feedback loop. The cue triggers a craving. The craving motivates a response. The response delivers a reward, and the reward satisfies the craving and becomes associated with the cue. Round and round it goes, becoming more automatic with each repetition. Think about your everyday actions: brushing your teeth after waking up, making coffee in the morning, checking email upon arriving at the office, turning on the TV when you get home. These are all habit loops deeply ingrained in your subconscious. We perform them without much conscious thought. This is both wonderful. It saves brain energy for more complex tasks, and potentially dangerous. Why dangerous? Because bad habits operate using the exact same 4 steps. Example: feeling stressed, craving relief, relaxation. Craving: smoking a cigarette, eating junk food, mindlessly scrolling social media. Response: feeling temporarily better. Reward. This loop gets reinforced, and the next time you feel stressed, you automatically reach for the old behavior. Or, like the example from the transcript, you plan to read when you get home, but sitting on the sofa, familiar cue, makes you feel like relaxing a bit. Craving. You immediately grab your phone. Response 1. Lie down and turn on the air conditioning. Response 2. Then open Facebook/TikTok. Response 3. And so, a chain of automatic responses is triggered, and you eventually realize you've wasted the entire evening. Long-term negative reward but perhaps the immediate reward of temporary entertainment. Understanding these 4 steps is fundamental to intervening and changing habits. By adjusting each element in the loop, we can break bad habits and build good ones. And that's precisely what the 4 laws of behavior change are all about. James Clear systematized habit change into 4 simple laws corresponding to the 4 steps of the habit loop. To build a good habit, you need to make it 1. Obvious, influences the cue. 2. Attractive, influences the craving. 3. Easy, influences the response. 4. Satisfying, influences the reward. Conversely, you invert these 4 laws to break a bad habit. Make it invisible. Number 2. Unattractive. 3. Difficult. 4. Unsatisfying. Now let's delve into each law and the specific strategies involved. Law 1. Make it obvious. The first law focuses on the cue. If the cue isn't apparent, the habit is unlikely to start. Our brains constantly scan the environment for signals to act upon, and vision is our most dominant sense. Therefore, the most effective way to initiate a good habit is to make its cue incredibly clear and visible. 1. Strategy. Habit scorecard. This is the first step towards awareness. List all your daily habits from waking up to going to sleep. Then next to each habit, mark it as plus, good, minus, evil, or neutral. This helps you clearly identify the automatic behaviors already occurring and pinpoint areas for change. Don't judge yourself. Observe and record. Strategy 2. Implementation intentions. This is a specific plan for when and where you will perform your habit. The simple formula is I will behavior at time in location. For example, instead of saying I'll exercise more, say I will do 30 minutes of yoga at 6 a.m. in my living room. Instead of I'll read more, say I will read for 20 minutes at 9 p.m. in bed. Research shows that making this specific intention dramatically increases your likelihood of following through. It turns a vague desire into a clear action plan. Strategy 3. Habit stacking. This leverages existing habits as cues for new ones. The formula is after current habit, I will new habit. Examples. After I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. After I remove my work shoes, I will change into my workout clothes and walk for 15 minutes. After I finish dinner, I will immediately wash the dishes. After I brush my teeth at night, I will floss. Choose a current habit you perform consistently each day and attach the new habit immediately after it. The old habit becomes a highly reliable cue for the new one. Strategy 4. Environment design. This is one of the most powerful strategies. Instead of relying on fleeting willpower or motivation, redesign your living and working spaces so cues for good habits are prominent and cues for bad habits are hidden. Want to read more? Don't stash books away in closets or corners. Place them where you'll constantly see them. On the coffee table, bedside table, dining table, and bathroom. Want to eat healthier? Keep fresh fruit and nutritious nuts visible and easily accessible in the kitchen. Store cookies, chips, and junk food in opaque containers on high shelves or out of sight. Want to drink enough water? Always keep a full water bottle on your desk. Want to exercise in the morning? Lay your workout clothes the night before right next to your bed. Want to watch less TV? Unplug the TV after watching and hide the remote in another room. Want to focus on work? Put your phone on silent and place it in another room or a drawer. Remember, your environment has an invisible but potent influence on your behavior. Make your environment your ally, not your enemy. Inversion of Law 1. Make it invisible. To eliminate bad habits, make their cues disappear from your sight and reach. If you're addicted to social media scrolling, remove the apps from your home screen or delete them entirely and only use the browser version. Adds friction. If you snack when bored, don't buy snacks to keep at home. If you impulse shop online, unsubscribe from promotional emails and unfollow shopping pages. Reducing exposure to the queue is the first and most effective step in breaking a bad habit. Law 2. Make it attractive. The second law targets the craving. The more attractive a habit is, the more pleasure it promises, and the more motivated we are to perform it. Our brains are wired to seek rewards, and the anticipation of the reward, driven by dopamine, fuels action. Strategy 1. Temptation bundling. This strategy pairs an action you want to do with an action you need to do. The formula is after plus habit I need to do, I will plus habit I want to do. Or combine them directly. While plus habit I need to do, I will plus habit I want to do. Example, after I make 5 sales calls, need, I will scroll Instagram for 10 minutes, want. While I run on the treadmill, need, I will only allow myself to watch my favorite Netflix show, want. After I clean the kitchen, need, I will treat myself to a nice cup of tea, want. Like the example in the transcript, journaling, need, and taking photos, want. By doing this, you're borrowing the attractiveness of the activity you enjoy to motivate yourself for what you need to do but might not be thrilled about. Strategy 2. Join a culture where your desired behavior is the norm. Humans are social creatures. We tend to imitate the habits of those around us, especially those belonging to the tribes we want to be part of. Family, friends, colleagues, community. Behaviors considered normal and praised within the group become more attractive to us. Want to exercise regularly? Join a gym class, a running club, or play sports with friends. Seeing everyone around you being active will motivate you. Want to read more? Join a book club or make friends with avid readers. Want to start a business? Spend time with successful entrepreneurs. Want to live healthily? Befriend people who share that lifestyle. Seek out environments where the good habit you want to build is the standard. The power of social conformity and positive peer pressure is immense. Strategy 3. Reframe your mindset. How you think about a habit greatly influences your craving to do it. Instead of viewing good habits as burdens, focus on their benefits. Instead of thinking, I have to wake up early to exercise, think, I get to start my day with energy and clarity. Instead of thinking, I have to save money, think, I'm building financial freedom for my future. Instead of thinking, I have to eat a boring salad, think, I'm nourishing my body with vibrant foods. Good habits should be associated with positive feelings and more significant meaning. Conversely, highlight the negative consequences of bad habits to diminish their appeal. For example, instead of thinking smoking helps you relax, focus on the risk of cancer, heart disease, and bad breath. Inversion of Law 2. Make it unattractive. Highlight the benefits of not making the bad habit. Think about the negative consequences it causes. Be aware of the opportunity cost. What better things are you missing out on by indulging in the bad habit? Find communities or individuals who support quitting that bad habit. Law 3. Make it easy. The third law focuses on the response. Humans are fundamentally lazy because we tend to follow the path of least resistance, law of least effort. Even if you're highly motivated and find a habit attractive, if performing it is too complicated or requires too much effort, you're likely to give up. Therefore, the key is to make good habits as simple as possible. Strategy 1. Reduce friction. Eliminate as many barriers and unnecessary steps between you and performing the habit as possible. Want to go to the gym after work? Choose a gym on your way home, not one far away. Pack your gym bag in the morning. Want to eat a healthy breakfast? Prepare ingredients: oats, chopped fruit the night before. Want to write daily? Keep your laptop or notebook easily accessible with the open file or blank page. Want to read before bed? Place the book and a reading light on your nightstand. Think, how can I make starting this habit take just a few seconds? The fewer steps, the fewer obstacles, the higher the likelihood you'll do it. Strategy 2. Prime the environment. This involves setting up your space to make future actions easy. It relates to environmental design in Law 1, but focuses more on preparing for the following action. After dinner, set out the tea kettle and cup for your morning tea. When leaving your desk, tidy up papers and prepare what you need for tomorrow's first task. After grocery shopping, prep vegetables so cooking the next meal is quicker. Strategy 3. The 2-minute rule. This strategy effectively overcame procrastination and initiated action. The principle is that starting a new habit takes less than 2 minutes. Read every day becomes read one page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. Study French becomes open my language learning app. Run 5 kilometers becomes put on my running shoes. Write 1,000 words becomes write one sentence. The goal here isn't to achieve massive results immediately, but to master the art of showing up. Starting is the hardest part. Once you've begun, even for just 2 minutes, momentum makes it easier to continue. Furthermore, completing this 2-minute action reinforces your identity. I am a reader. I am someone who does yoga, and creates a slight sense of accomplishment, motivating you to keep going. Once you've mastered the 2-minute start, you can gradually increase the duration and difficulty. Strategy 4. Automate habits. Use technology or one-time decisions to lock in good behavior for the future. Set up automatic transfers to your savings investment account each month. Use a healthy meal delivery service. Buy devices that simplify habits, programmable coffee maker, slow cooker. Install apps that block distracting websites during work hours. These one-time decisions remove the need to make the right choice repeatedly. Inversion of Law 3. Make it difficult. Increase friction. Add more complex steps between you and the bad habit. Want to watch less TV? Unplug it and hide the remote. Want to quit gaming? Uninstall the games or put the console somewhere hard to access. Want to reduce phone scrolling? Delete apps, leave the phone in another room, and use time-limiting apps. Want to cut down on snacks? Please don't buy them or store them in very inconvenient places. The more complex a behavior is to perform, the less likely you are to do it. Law 4. Make it satisfying. The final law focuses on the reward. This is the most crucial law for maintaining habits long-term. Our brains are wired to repeat behaviors that bring satisfaction. The problem is, good habits often have delayed rewards. Good health, mastery of a skill, deep knowledge, while bad habits usually offer immediate rewards. The relaxation from smoking, the taste of junk food, the instant entertainment from social media. Our brains prioritize immediate gratification. Therefore, to sustain good habits, we must find ways to feel immediately satisfied after performing them. Strategy 1. Use reinforcement. Give yourself a small reward immediately after completing a good habit. This reward doesn't have to be huge. It just needs to create a pleasant feeling, marking completion. After exercising, take a few moments to fully relax, enjoying the accomplishment. After finishing a difficult task, reward yourself with a favorite song or a short, funny video. After eating a healthy meal, praise yourself for making a good choice for your health. Crucially, the reward should be immediate and ideally aligned with the identity you're building. For example, don't reward yourself with a giant slice of cake right after a workout if your goal is weight loss. Strategy 2. Habit tracking. This simple but incredibly effective way to create immediate satisfaction. Get a calendar or a notebook, or use a habit tracking app. Every time you complete your habit, make an X, a check mark, or a color in the corresponding box. Why is it effective? It makes the habit obvious. You have a visual record of your progress. It makes the habit attractive. You're motivated to maintain the streak of X's and don't want to break the chain. It satisfies the habit. Marking the X is a small reward, creating a sense of completion and progress. The crucial rule for tracking: never miss twice. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice begins a new habit, the habit of quitting. If you miss a day, try your best to get back on track the next day. The goal isn't perfection, but consistency and rapid recovery. Warning: don't let tracking become the ultimate goal, as discussed in Systems versus Goals. Marking the X is just a supporting tool. The primary purpose is still performing the habit and reinforcing your identity. Don't cheat to get the X. Strategy 3. Get an accountability partner. Ask a friend, family member, or coach you trust to monitor your progress. Knowing someone else is watching motivates you to follow through on your commitments. Nobody wants to appear weak or break promises in front of others. Strategy 4. Create a habit contract. This is a written agreement detailing the habit you want to perform, signed by you and 1 or 2 accountability partners. Most importantly, the contract must clearly state the punishment if you fail to comply. This punishment should be annoying or costly, e.g., paying money to your partner or doing a chore you hate. This creates an immediate cost for inaction, counterbalancing the immediate gratification of bad habits. Inversion of Law 4. Make it unsatisfying. Make the consequences of the bad habit immediate and painful. Use an accountability partner or habit contract to impose a penalty as soon as you slip up. Track the negative impacts of the bad habit, e.g., money wasted on cigarettes, time wasted on social media, to clearly feel the price you're paying. These 4 laws make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Form a comprehensive toolkit for redesigning your behavior, systematically building good habits, and effectively eliminating bad ones. Once you've grasped the 4 laws, James Clear also touches upon several advanced points and important caveats to help optimize the habit-building process and avoid potential pitfalls. How to choose the right habits to start with. Our time and energy are finite. You can't build every good habit simultaneously. So which ones should you choose? The answer lies in combining personal enjoyment with natural inclination. Ask yourself, what activities genuinely excite or fascinate you? What tasks do others find tedious or complex, but you find relatively easy or enjoyable? What makes you lose track of time when you're doing it? James Clear suggests that a sign you're suited for something isn't just that you enjoy it and can handle the boredom or difficulty of it more quickly than most people. Everyone likes being a writer, but not everyone can endure sitting down to write for hours daily. Everyone wants an incredible physique, but not everyone enjoys the fatigue of working out. Experiment and explore different areas. When you find something that aligns with your talents and sparks your interest, focus on exploiting it and building habits around it. Don't force yourself into a mold that doesn't fit just because someone else says it's good. How to stay motivated when habits become boring. No matter how exciting initially, any habit will eventually involve repetition and potentially boredom. This is where the difference between professionals and amateurs becomes clear. Professionals stick with it even when they don't feel like it. Or, to maintain motivation, apply the Goldilocks rule. Humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks of just manageable difficulty. Not too easy, which leads to boredom, and not too hard, which leads to frustration. Continuously adjust your habits to keep them in this optimal zone of challenge. For example, if you're lifting weights, gradually increase the weight. If you're learning a language, try reading slightly more challenging articles. Always look for ways to raise the bar slightly after mastering the current level. This helps maintain engagement and a sense of progress. The pitfall of habits: when automation becomes limitation. The most significant advantage of habits is automation, saving mental energy. But this is also a potential drawback. When a behavior becomes too automatic, we stop thinking about how to improve it. We perform it mindlessly and might miss better, more efficient ways of doing things. Initial mastery can lead to complacency and stagnation. Combine habits with deliberate practice, reflection, and review to avoid this. Deliberate practice. Don't just repeat the habit mindlessly. Focus on improving a specific aspect, get feedback, and make adjustments. Reflection and review. Periodically, weekly, monthly, annually, examine your habit system. Which habits are serving your goals and identity well? Which needs adjustment or elimination? Are there better ways to perform them? This process ensures your habits continue to steer you in the right direction and prevents getting stuck in mediocrity. Don't let your identity become a prison. As mentioned, changing identity is core, but be careful not to let that identity become a cage that traps you. For example, you pride yourself on being a strict vegan. That's great, but if you become so rigid with this identity that you refuse all social invitations involving food, make relationships difficult, or miss out on unique culinary experiences while traveling, perhaps that identity limits you. Humans constantly change and evolve. Your identity should also be flexible and adaptable. Hold on to your core values, but don't be afraid to adjust or expand your definition of self when necessary. These nuances help us apply the principles of atomic habits more intelligently and sustainably, maximizing benefits and avoiding common mistakes. So, we've explored quite a detailed exploration of the core messages and practical strategies from James Clear's Atomic Habits. We've seen how tiny changes, seemingly insignificant actions, are the seeds of remarkable results, thanks to the power of compounding. Never underestimate getting 1% better each day. We've learned that focusing on building a sustainable system is more crucial than obsessing solely over the end goal. Fall in love with the process and find joy in the small steps. And perhaps most importantly, we've realized that actual, lasting change comes from shifting our identity, changing our core beliefs about the person we want to become. Decide who you want to be, then prove it with small daily wins. The 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Provide a robust framework to redesign our lives, install positive habits, and eliminate negative ones. My dear friends, Atomic Habits isn't just a book about habits. It's a book about human potential and how we can, step by step, build a better version of ourselves and lead a more meaningful life. These small habits don't just add up, they compound. They multiply and stack on each other, creating a powerful ripple effect. When you start forming one good habit, like exercising, it often triggers other positive changes. You start eating healthier, sleeping better, working with more focus. One small lever can create massive change throughout the entire system of your life. It's like reading. When I started building a consistent reading habit, I underwent profound changes I couldn't have imagined. It didn't just expand my knowledge. It changed how I thought and viewed problems and even the opportunities that came my way. That's precisely why I started this channel, BookSmart Insights, to share those incredible values with all of you. So after watching this video, what will you do? Knowledge is only truly valuable when applied. Starting today, I encourage you to pick one small habit you want to build, or one bad habit you want to break. Then, use the 4 laws we've discussed. How can you make its cue more obvious or more invisible? How can you make it more attractive or more unattractive? How can you make it easier or more difficult? Can you apply the 2-minute rule? How can you make it more satisfying or more unsatisfying? How will you track it? Start really small, really easy. Remember the bamboo tree. Remember the power of 1%. Don't try to change everything at once. Choose one starting point, one small lever, and be consistent. You have the power to create positive, lasting changes in your life. Thank you so much for spending your time with BookSmart Insights today. I hope this deep dive into atomic habits has given you fresh perspectives and valuable tools to begin your journey of positive habit formation. If you found this video valuable, please share it with anyone who might benefit from listening. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for BookSmart Insights on YouTube and other podcast platforms, so you don't miss out on future videos sharing great books and personal development knowledge. A like and a comment sharing the first habit you plan to work on or your biggest takeaway from this video would be a massive source of encouragement for me and the production team. Once again, thank you for being here. I wish you a day, week filled with energy and persistence toward your small goals. May you soon reap surprising rewards. Goodbye, and I look forward to having you back for the next video.